Please, a round of applause for her, please. Our sister Naomi Dr. Lagada, with our Vice President. Do we have Mrs. or Ms. Lagada in the house, please? Someone from our state, please inform her that something is happening. Please. Which state could be?
You can just drop her for you.
Plug and drop her.
We have I've said to people, please can you locate this woman? Oh, is she welfare officer, is she the one? Okay, please a round of applause for her once again. We have monitor all the way from Northeast Adamawa State, Elizabeth Joseph. She's not around. But a round of applause for her, please. Last but not the least, Sylvia Agose, Piano, North Central, Benue State. Sylvia Agose, please a round of applause for her. Okay, Honorable Mrs. Sylvia Agose, Piano, North Central, Benue State. We will now invite our dynamic leader, President, Mr. Jaji, to please come forward and do Mr. Jaji, our President, sir. Please, a round of applause for him. He will exercise his first assignment, being inaugurated as our President of this CONAECDA. Sir, welcome, please. Just say the word.
Sorry, please let's shift so that we can drop her. It's okay.
These are the dancers of our land. Please, a round of applause for Plateau State Cultural Troupe, please. That's wonderful. That's excellent. We will still invite our Plateau State Cultural Troupe, but only interlude now, so that the dancers will still wait a little bit while we wait for our guests. We have our traditional rulers in the house. We will do the introduction later. Please kindly invite once again the Plateau State Cultural Troupe. This time around, just the interlude. Just interlude, not the dancing piece. While we wait for our guests to come in. Thank you. Masura Yaiku, Kulaki Yashu, Wangari Yasu, Amabari, Nagawaba, Masuki, Nagakawai, and Dimana Itanus, and Abadjua Mazamusura. With kind permission, let me please introduce in the house the representative of few of our recipients who will be receiving their awards this night. First on the list, we have Dr. Ufuai Bonnet, the Elgram Ogoro, Deputy Chair of Kaduna State Council of Chiefs, ably represented by our father, Francis Abo, Maga Yaki Kaburu. Please round of applause for him, please. Thank you, you're welcome, sir. Next on the list, we have His Royal Majesty, the Jacob Nyambuba, the Congo Judge, the Chairman, Plateau State Council Chiefs and Emirs, ably represented by His Royal Highness, the Edward Airport, the Queen of Barkeladi, Baba, you are highly welcome. Please a round of applause for our father who is already seated. You are most welcome. As they come in, we will try to usher them in and to introduce them formally. Thank you very much, our dear parents, for coming. We pray that God in His infinite mercy will continue to strengthen and guide you wherever you are. Father, I begin to praise and wait your name so that I will introduce you properly. Thank you very much once again for coming. Please, the Plateau State Cultural Troupe, please, once again, interlock, please.
Just inform them that you can come away.
it may be more important to continue with the music while we wait for the other people, rather than just continue with the dancing. They are on the Autonomous Livestock Producers Association. And we left it there that in case there are questions, so is there anyone that has a question related to that? So I can answer it. So I think my explanation is well understood on the Autonomous Livestock Producers. Please, as I say, for each state, you can collect some forms. The forms are available at the registration area. You can collect them later so that you can share it and it has some information added to that. Now, the other thing that I'm supposed to brief you on is on our community-based early warning and early response system. Now, some of you may not be very aware that the community-based early warning and early response system is active. And when we get information from any community related to issues of security, what we do is that we act on it. Our action may be such that we will forward it to relevant security agencies. Please, some people are making noise somewhere. Hello? So we forward that. Now, whatever information we get and we share, actions are taken. Sometimes the actions are not taken. The responses may be different. I hope I'm making some sense. Now, some instances where we have information that certain things or certain attacks may take place. We also sometimes inform leaders of the communities. In some instances, when we give out the information, the communities are able to act, prepare, evacuate, or report to relevant leaders around to see what action can be taken. In some instances, we have instances in which the communities don't even act. But most of the time that happens with communities that probably have not experienced any serious attacks yet. Hello? So, one of the things we want to improve on is our digital reporting platform. Now, we started working on it some years back, but the partners we are trying to work with later couldn't continue with it, partly related to maybe a funding source. But the idea is that we were training people in communities so that anything happening that has to do with security, people can report immediately. And there were applications. You can report it with the location and what is happening there. So we share with security agencies so that they are able to respond. Now we want to do that again. When we do that, we are expecting that we will communicate and work with all communities on that. Another thing that we will be encouraging communities to do is, please do not allow the security of your community to be handled by individuals that are not accountable to the community. No matter who the person is, if he is not going to be accountable to the community, please do not hand over security issues to that person. The reason is that somebody can go and be doing illegal things. And by the time the authorities find out and discover that that person is doing illegal things, the community will be accused of harboring criminals or encouraging criminals. Meanwhile, they are not in the picture of what that person is doing. In their own thinking, they believe that he's helping them. So we encourage that every community should have their own security committee. And when we say security committee, we are encouraging an early warning and an early response committee. That committee should be accountable to the community, whether it is the community development associations and the traditional rulers of that community. The reason is that you have a right to defend yourself, yes. But that right does not include the right to plan and carry out attack against anybody. I hope I'm communicating. Some people will say, yes, the best defense is attack, isn't it? I'm sure that it is somebody who is out to kill, to attack, to carry out criminal activities. That is completely a different issue. And it is the communities that should judge and determine if actually they are under a threat and the enemy or the threat is clearly identified and there is the need to act. But nobody is allowed to take the law into his hands alone and begin to do things that is not supposed to be done. I hope I'm communicating. So that responsibility is at the community level because you have that right. We in CONAECDA do not have the right. Please listen to, we are talking of the secretariat in CONAECDA. The CONAECDA secretariat does not have the right to go into your community and defend you and fight for you and do anything that has to do with law enforcement. We don't have that right, but we can train you, we can equip you, we can inform you, we can guide you. That one we are doing as part of our responsibility as citizens and as an organization that is coordinating what we are doing. So we work with the security agencies. If we have information, we pass it on to them, they act. If we have information, we pass it to the community and the community acts. I hope I'm making some sense. So please, we will be working more and more on the early warning and early response system. And as I say, one major thing we want to ensure is that our communities are safe. We don't want perpetual crisis. There are people who have made it either in the form of NGOs. We have land, we have resources, we have everything to make us rich. In fact, we are already a rich people. So we don't need anybody's donation to make our communities rich. I hope I'm making some sense. So please, whatever you are doing in terms of security, the expectation is to make your community safe, free of crisis, free of attack, free of violence, free of anything that can lead people to lose their lives and property. But to enable people to move around freely, go and enjoy the brief life they have. When I say brief life, highest maybe 100 years, and we are gone. But we do not want our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren to live in perpetual crisis. We don't want to see that. So please remember what I'm saying. Work on that as communities. And the more we work on the training, facilitation, and other things, we'll let you know. Added to that is that we are going to begin this building as community security experts. So when you get the information from us, those who you want to be trained, we are not training them on this building alone. You know, this building, they'll tell you how to negotiate and tell people how to live in peace. And it's a matter of violence against you. And you have to know how to respond and deal with that. Am I making any sense? So we'll be training because they will be involved in the training, how to work with the Nigerian armed forces, because they will be involved in the training, how to work with the police, civil defense, and other security agencies to safeguard and protect your community. Once we are ready, we will let you know the amount needed for training, the kind of people you need to send for the training. Anybody that will be trained by CONAECDA must be satisfied by his community, because we are going to be training them on how to manage community security. So that is going to be one of the things we'll be doing in terms of the early warning and early response system. We want a situation in which communities are at the center of whatever security arrangement is done. Not that we are going to replace the police or no, but that communities will work with the police, work with the army, work with the DSS, work with every agency of government to secure and peaceful lives. I hope that is clear. So we will be working on that. our hope is that in the next coming few months, the situation room will be running 24 hours and there will be people there. And if there's any distress, apart from contacting the police, you can contact us. Because part of it is that we can contact people at the highest level. When I say highest level is people at the level of chiefs of defense, police, general, chief of the DSS, and even the presidency, or anybody that needs to be able to act. I hope that is clear. The community-based early warning and early response system. Now, another thing that I would like to brief us on is the aspect that has to do with the autochthonous peoples organizations. Now, the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. You must have heard some people talking about indigenous people's right to self-determination. Please, the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People is not designed for communities to ask to break away from the country where they are. Let's be very clear. So we are not doing IPOP here. We are not doing people breaking away from Nigeria. After all, we are not interested in that. The idea is that within the context of Nigeria, our various ethnic groups should have their independence. Am I making any sense? If they want to claim anything, they have to fight on that claim. Am I making any sense? Now, you have the right to be able to say, this is the boundary of our community and this is our land. Anybody can come there, build his house, do his business. If he likes, stay. If he likes, go. But the land will remain your land. In other words, I'm living in just here. And property. The fact that I am living in Jos and have property, it does not make the land of Jos my own. The land belongs to Biron, Afizere, and Anaguta. Am I making any sense? This place that you see we're staying in belongs to somebody from the northeast, the son of our first CONAECDA president. The fact that this building is here does not make this place Bora land. It remains the land of the people of Plateau. There is an indigenous people that own this land. Now, they should be able to assert that this is their own land. And there are certain things that whenever government or anybody wants to do, you should consult them. I hope I'm making some sense. Now, another thing is I cannot be taken from this land and not be given to the owners. So the UN provides you with such that you can even have, apart from government taxes on the land, you can have community taxes. And it's happening in the south. You pay government and then you pay the community. Here, they will even take away the land from you and claim it does not belong to you. We want to address those things. Anybody can come into your place and start claiming he is indigenous, he is this, he is that. The UN Declaration gives you the right to determine who is a member of your community. So, even if I live here, my children live here, my grandchildren live here, I should find out where I came from. I don't know if I'm communicating. The UN Declaration also provides for that. Now we have started the process. Now, that process, you see, we tell people that the NGOs, the international community, they are not interested in solving our problem. And if we are waiting for them to give us money before we solve our problem, we will have been finished before we start. So any community that wants to address its problem, you must put resources locally and get it done. Now, what knowledge is needed, what expertise is needed, is what we in the Secretariat are providing you. And we gave you a report that we have started with some communities. Some already now have their national constitution. So you have the constitution. I don't want to tell you the name because we are doing everything in confidence. but we are not. So we have the constitution, for instance, of the denomination. Now, if it is the constitution of denomination, every organization, family setup, traditional institution, land tenure, land system, all these things are captured in their constitution. And therefore, who is the head of the denomination? They will tell you. If they have a parliament, they will tell you. They have a system of government, it is there. They have elders council, it is there. And anybody that wants to do something, the rules and regulations governing your land will be captured in that constitution. So as I said, we have started work with some communities, and then to enable them to pool funds together, some of them already have their foundation. So for instance, I gave you an example that we already have registered the Attacker Foundation. That is the foundation for all the Attacker people. And whatever money is pooled there is used and mobilized for the development and the prosperity of the Attacker people and Attacker land. So NPO programs is on. Communities that are interested can contact us. We will work with you through the process, sit with stakeholders, discuss it, tell you what is there. What I have just told you is too small because there is a lot that is there. When we discuss with you, brief you can look at it, and then we begin working with you until you have that. So you can have your national flag, have your national emblem, have your whatever you have as a people that make you distinct within the Nigerian state and allows you to relate with others, work with others. It also provides for how you can nationalize. I hope I'm communicating. Please, maybe somebody should help me with water. So is that okay? So these are very, very important things that we're doing, and we like communities to take advantage of the things and see how they work on that, those things. Lastly, one of the things I want us to also realize we're working on is that we are working on the aspect that has to do with the development bank we talk about. Now please, the discussion is this. Communities are encouraged to have microfinance banks. That's largely what is there. But what we are trying to do is, we have a lot of issues around the community development. And sometimes, even as a community development association, when you go to the bank and you say you are looking for a loan as an association, they will tell you don't give associations loan. Even when they know you can pay it. Am I making any sense? Sometimes you have our people in the village and there are things they can do. And then you find out that getting the money becomes a big problem. Now in the southwest, they have the cooperative bank. And the cooperative bank operates only in the southwest. Only in the southwestern states. When I did my youth service in Oyo State, in one place called Shaki, the only bank that was really functional there was the cooperative bank. Then later on, I think there was First Bank, and then later they had another, but it was the cooperative bank that most people were utilizing. And you find them in communities and villages all over the southwest. And they work with the people, work with the communities and help them. Now, it was agreed at one of the conferences that we should work on that. Now, our communities and members from our communities that will own the bank. Last year at the conference, we agreed that communities that are making a lot of progress in the coming year and the process of the establishment of the bank. I know capitalization has been raised, but you will be surprised that a lot of the banks that are there, many of our people are shareholders and they are not seeing what is happening. But we want to improve on that. Expected leaders are here. Some of these, and I do not want us to take any extended time again, so we'll be able to start.
Zamu, Benchi, just admit on the place. Zamu, please, Abokina.